Okay, now we're talking about, I'm going to find out right now exactly. I have a pretty good idea what it's about. But Evan Michael Zislis, you're here joining us, coming in today. You're the author of this book, and it's called Clutter-Free Revolution. So thanks for coming in early this morning.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me.
And where do you live? Do you live around?
I'm in Carbondale.
Oh, so you're not too far away.
Just over the path.
There's good fishing over in Carbondale. I
If you
spent a lot
say
of
so.
I know that for a fact. And you came in this morning.
I did.
And let's tell us about your book, because is this the first book that you've written?
It is, yeah.
And what's it all about?
I'm really excited about it. So we all have clutter, and clutter is kind of all the rage. People want to simplify and get organized, and we're seeing that in a variety of movements and big things that are going on around the world. Marie Kondo just put out a giant book, that New York Times #1 bestseller, Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And what Clutter-Free Revolution does is it takes it one step further. Basically what we're talking about is we all have clutter, but the trick is, can we figure out how to use that clutter, all that stuff, to prioritize and simplify and get organized in order for us to be able to help other people. And that's kind of the spin of this book, is that this book is really focused on simplifying our stuff, organizing our life, and saving the world, primarily through conscious consumerism. So really just being more mindful about what we acquire in the first place.
So are we talking about like physical clutter, like all the stuff that I have in my garage today that I need to do something with, that I'm sitting on for having a garage sale? Are we talking about emotional clutter, or probably all of it?
Absolutely. So there's all different kinds of clutter. This book in particular is really focused on the stuff in our space.
Okay.
I recently wrote another short little ebook called Aphrodisiac, Clearing the Cluttered Path to Epic Love, Great Sex, and Relationships that last. And that has to do with...
I'm going to read this book.
That has to do with emotional clutter and relationship clutter. But,
that's good stuff, though. It's all clutter.
It is all connected. It is all absolutely how we interact with the things in our space and one another.
So what got you kind of headed down this path? What was it? What do you do?
I'm a professional organizer, so I'm neck deep.
What are you doing after the show?
Yeah,
you
right.
Come over to my house?
That's right. So I'm neck deep in people's stuff. And,
Okay.
and what I discovered was that we really have an opportunity, and I think a responsibility, to take this concept of getting organized one step further, so that we are really taking collectively responsibility for where do our things come from? How are those things manufactured? What slave wage conditions did some teenager in Malaysia have to endure so that we get a bigger discount at the grocery store? I think that we have a bigger responsibility. It's not just about what brings us joy. It really is about we are supposed to be stewards of each other and this planet. And this book spells it out, talks you through it step by step.
So really, it's it's like making a conscious effort, a conscious thinking process when you're buying anything. Really, as we move forward, obviously we have to get rid of the clutter that we already currently have. But then it's how to make those steps moving forward and thinking twice about your purchases and the things that you think you need or want down the road. Right?
Yeah. So two things that you just said. First thing is we need to need less. We need to need less.
Well, we don't need all the stuff we have.
We don't.
I know.
We
I don't.
absolutely
My
don't.
kids don't. I know we don't. But
when you say get rid of the stuff we already have, part of saving the world piece really is moving the things along that we don't need anymore or don't want anymore to those who are really just struggling to survive the day. Right. So if we can, fortunately, clutter is part of the solution to this equation. So if we can use our clutter, the stuff that we no longer want, pass those things along, begin to be more innovative and resourceful about what materials do we already have access to that we can repurpose and reuse in innovative ways that help the people in our own communities. So this is a grassroots revolution. It really is about uniting people around this collective consciousness around what do we need, how can we reuse, and how can we pass things along to those in our own communities who could probably benefit a lot more than we can.
And then obviously every community has their own resources for doing that. I mean, I
Sure.
know. I mean, for example, like we'll take loads of stuff to the thrift store.
You bet.
I mean, that's a big thing for us. I mean, we don't throw a lot of stuff away, but we donate it so they can put it somewhere else, and then it goes down to Denver to the Salvation Army groups. And
That's right.
But that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg.
It really is.
Yeah.
I think that it starts with needing less in general. being more resourceful, and then tapping into those secondhand economies in our local communities, really promoting thrift, consigners, or organizations like Habitat for Humanity, really getting involved on a grassroots level. And what that'll do is it'll promote local economies by providing an inventory for local stores, giving small business owners an opportunity to rally around a business that really promotes people in the community that can't afford to buy full retail. So it really just helps everybody by tapping into the thrift, consign, Habitat for Humanity, and so forth.
Good information. So your website, clutterfreerevolution.com.
You bet.
That explains it all out there. Now, can people contact you if they want you to come by their house?
Absolutely.
Sure that's another thing you do, right?
bet.
I mean, that's a big part of it. That's where it all started for you, probably.
So my bread and butter is going into people's homes and businesses. The philanthropic division of my company is called Two for Teachers. I donate my services to public school teachers around the country for free. No strings attached.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Y'all hear that?
Right. So the other thing is I work locally, regionally, and via Skype nationally. So in fact, I've got a client in Italy that I work with via Skype.
So the client brings their phone into their closet.
Absolutely.
You can say, move that, put that in a box, move that over there. You have 3 of those?
So we talk about the method. It's a very simple 3-step method. We use the same 3 steps in every space. We talk about your ideal vision. You give me a look with your phone or your device of whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm able to see the layout and talk you through it step by step as though I'm right there with you.
366-2532, 970.
970.
Clutterfreerevolution.com. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, pleasure.
That's really good information. This is
Thanks
going to be a
for
good
having
book. You got to go to his website, get that book, and get your life in order. We're going to be taking a break from Good Morning Vail. We'll be right back.